Welcome to the Nevada Department of Wildlife's Fly of the Month. I am Jan Nimick, Angler Education, and this is the Hookup Baitfish. As the name implies, it rides hook point up, or when fished, it rides hook point up, so acts as kind of a natural weed guard. Great fly, it's heavy, oversized eyes, get down quick. The red is a great trigger color for both trout and bass. Alright, we're going to start with the hook. This is a little bit larger one. This is a size 4 standard saltwater hook. And I'm going to start by laying down a foundation of red thread, and I'm going to go a little bit further back than I ordinarily would. You can see I kind of reached back into the bend there. And that's because when I lay the rabbit strip down, we want to make sure it stays across the back of the fly. And that sounds kind of silly right at the moment, but it'll make a little bit more sense once we get a little bit closer. Alright, eyes, I can kind of, I don't know if I'd call it choke the head, but I can get a little bit closer to the eye than I ordinarily would, like with a Clouser minnow, because it's just the rabbit strip that's going to be held on the right hand side of the eyes themselves. Alright, I don't know what the best technique is for setting eyes. I was always told to just make sure you do it every different way at least 10 times, and that will set them on there. So you see me doing some pretty funny mixes, but I do make sure that I kind of cross as well as try to anchor to the top or bottom, as well as kind of spin around the eyes, and I feel like that kind of cinches up everything. Alright, that should be pretty good. I'm going to put some Zappa Gap, some super glue on there just to make sure they don't go anywhere. Alright, and we'll get started with the first material here. Alright, first one up is angel hair, or ice wing fiber, and the polar ice. I'm just going to pull out a little kind of slug of that. I'm going to lay it down, tie it down. Not really anywhere in particular, just kind of somewhere on the left hand side of the eyes. And you see how I doubled it over and folded it back, and that just really ensures that it's not going to slip out. So about the halfway mark there. Just like the Clouser, I'm going to want to go about twice the length of the body there, and we'll trim that. And my scraps here are going to become my next piece. So that one will be our next down the back, and you can see where I've started those just to the right or to the left of the eyes there. Take those a little ways back, just like so. So I pulled the tail over and brought them back, and we're going to do the same thing. I've got another little kind of clump of angel hair. I'm going to cut that one in half, and this one I'm going to tie in the same manner. So I'm going to set it down on top, tie one side. Go back towards the eyes there, and trim this one a little bit shorter just so it's not the longest one on there. And then now I'm going to fold this back over. Once again, I want that to not be the longest one. If you cut the ice wing at an angle, it'll give it more of kind of a natural look opposed to the blunt edges, so I definitely recommend that. Alright, so we've got our ice wing fiber of polar ice silver. Now I'm going to add the throat, which is going to be some red angel hair. I'm going to cut that one in half just to give it a little bit of bulk. Alright, same story. Tie it down just like so. Fold it back over. Now these, I'm going to cut a little bit shorter. And again, at that kind of that angle. So it gives it just more of a natural look opposed to kind of a blunt. Alright, thread goes forward. And we're going to lay our rabbit strip in. This is a Grizzly natural rabbit strip with black bars across the top of it. Great pattern for the perch out at Pyramid. As well as some of the bottom fish sculpin, as well as some of the other bait fish there on the Truckee. Alright, so to make my fly about as long as the flash there, I'm going to kind of just eyeball where I want to pin it or prick it. Here I'm going to pierce the skin kind of backwards there. Go past the barb if you can, because we're going to pull the fly off and slide that leather completely over. So now I'm going to turn this around. There's the top of the fly, and you can see we took it up a little bit higher there, so it kind of holds it a little bit higher across the back opposed to letting it pull this material down, bunching it. To tie it off, I'm going to just kind of pull snug right at the eye, cut from the bottom so it doesn't cut any of the hair. And then we'll pull it across the top. And finish off the head. And that is the Hookup Baitfish.